Today I will be doing a video on what better than to just go ahead and talk about the incident that took place right now at 20 minutes 20 minutes ago, 22 minutes ago. There was an incident. Let me turn the camera on here. Just sitting like this in the room. There is a window, yeah, of course it's open. It never was in the past, because this is how severe harassment was. And I got this kind of sound. I got this one here. Well, this. The guy whose channel this is, the Slovenian guy, was involved in this bestiality. He was not the only one. There is a few of them, but first he started this channel all by himself. He was involved in this, and then he had also helpers, and he was involved in this since I assume sometimes this guy was involved very long time, but sometimes in 1998 he got an idea about this channel here, basically sirens, etc., etc. He really enjoys this stuff. Every time whenever I turn this video recorder on, OBS Studio screen recorder, it just automatically crashes down the volume of the computer. He enjoys this very much. I'm going to show you a little bit his channel. There is people that love this kind of stuff. Today, do you hear this? It was like this. Let me demonstrate you. Just this sound. First it was from the distance, and it was like this, and it stopped. I was sure that it's alarm from the other side of the KRKA River. Let's go back. I'm gonna go back. Just the sound like you have heard now. And then it came right up to the house where we are on the other side of the KRKA River, and he turned the siren again on to buzz. Exactly this. So this is basically a terror. It's like you're psychologically attacking a person, targeted person, and you do this stuff in the evening hours. We noticed several of these attacks at 9:20 hours. There was a police car that approached me the other day as I was heading home, right in front of our home at 21:20 evening hours again. Actually 21:10. So that's basically active stalking and active terror. You know exactly who I am, and you know exactly the stuff that you do. So this is exactly what was used today. I wasn't sure whether it was a siren or was not siren, because my neighbor Dane Kolens and police during MK Ultra, they insisted there is a guy across the KRKA River that is using an alarm, a car alarm. That's not a car alarm. That's a fucking siren. There is no guy across the KRKA River using a car alarm. They were convincing me during MK Ultra that the sirens that I hear on the other side of the KRKA River is alarm. And they would not talk to me when the sirens went on. They would have they would horn the sirens, the police cars, from ambulance vehicles, intervention vehicles, basically, fire rescue vehicles. And then they will be talking all the time about the car alarm, the guy with the car alarm across the KRKA River, that it will prove that it was not ambulance, that it was not police, that it was just a car alarm. Huh. So this is basically the channel from this guy. Let's have a look. Germans were involved in this stuff, and they said, oh, well, that's a normal thing, because some people just like this. I need to close the window before I'm going to load myself with mosquitoes inside here. The Slovenian side had a lot of sympathizers, Germans. Germans just, for them, everything was just completely normal. It was completely understandable. It was just part of the normal thing. Sirens, all that kind of stuff is just part of the German culture. They like it loud like this. And they simply did not consider the circumstances. They were apologetic toward this type of bestiality, mistreatment. Well, let's just see a typical video from this guy, because I need you to see what these people have inside of their heads. This is not against the work that you see is being done. There was no vehicles anywhere in front of these people. I don't know what they use that for. Maybe because they're approaching to some intersection or something, of course. The name of this stuff is called Intervention, this channel. In 1998 is when he started this channel, and this individual is directly connected to Borut Pahor. He was involved in torture procedures. Just I have seen the video about one video where Logatets, where they tortured, and is a fire rescue vehicle with they turn on the music and stuff like this. I mean, yeah, this is quite off the chain. Maybe you would even want to say that this is normal. It's the fire rescue, ambulance vehicles, and stuff like that. It's the way it's done, the way it's supposed to be. But I can assure you that in Slovenia, these people are not normal. They are abusing their authority. They're abusing their positions for the torture purposes. I know so because I was tortured by these people throughout Slovenia. I was tortured by the ambulance workers, by fire rescue workers, and by the police throughout Slovenia. So I know so. I know for a fact that they are not normal. You're definitely not normal if you go and you portray yourself in the most violent, psychotic ways to a targeted individual. And we know exactly what a targeted individual in this case means. We know exactly what you started. You Slovenes started in 1972 extermination procedure, genocide procedure. We know exactly what kind of targeted individual this is. Majhen narod vedno kriv je, ne? Je bil Hitler, ne? Je bila nacistična Nemčija, pa Hitler je bil, ne? Je bilo tako, da je bil? Je bilo, tako je bilo, ko je bila Jugoslavija, pa Sovjetska zveza, glih tako je bilo. Glih tako ste se skrivali za Hitlerjem, kot ste se skrivali za Nemci, pa za Rusi. Glih tako ste se Slovenci za Hitlerjem skrivali. Glih tako ste se Slovenci zedinjevali v nasilju z drugimi pod pretvezo Hitlerja, pod pretvezo nacistične Nemčije, z drugimi narodnostmi, narodi preko vaših laži, ne? Je bilo tako. Je bil Hitler in je bila nacistična Nemčija. Zaradi tega sem rekel, da vas bom tožil na mednarodnem sodišču za zločine. Za učenje v šoli glede nacistične Nemčije in glede Hitlerja. Zaradi tega sem to povedal. Zaradi teh stvari. Ker ste na isti način zlorabljali, kot ste zlorabljali Jugoslavijo, Rusijo za genocid proti meni. Na isti način ste zlorabljali pojem Hitlerja, pojem nacizma. Preko tega ste se uveljavljali. Oziroma preko tega ste uveljavljali svoje laži. Yeah, I don't actually know where that channel would be, where, sorry, not the channel, but the video, it's pretty much everything messed up, really. The fire that you see here, there were certain locations that Borut Pahor, Milan Kučan, nobody more than Robert Golob, and then you have the rest of the pack, literally negotiated deliberate arson for the sake of insurance, for the sake of compensation inside of our house. But this is none of my business, because this is Slovenian problem. This is the way Slovenia does it. That's how they do the stuff. And they did threaten. They also threatened with our house arson. This here is the fire rescue station. The fire rescue station is just about 1.5 kilometers from our house. And the people from the fire rescue station threatened, as I will be talking about this kind of issues, threatened they will not even come to the rescue when it's going to be a fire inside of our house. That's what they threatened with. This is how far this stuff have gone. Entire fire rescue station from Novo Mesto was involved in lynching, in torture, since I was baby. Not even child. The fire rescue station would be located right here. This area is called Lochna. It's right next to the graveyard. It would look like this here. They were involved just as ambulance vehicles, not as much, but whenever they possibly could participate in traumatizing, or they using their sirens, they definitely now hesitate to do so. It's a thing, because it goes to show where I am from, not what I am, but it goes to show where exactly I am from. As I stated, I absolutely do not consider myself as a Slovenian. There is not even a drop of blood inside of me that is Slovenian. Not even one single drop. And I told you, I don't know who these people are. I don't know where they came from, but they're gonna go wherever the fuck they came from. That's the only thing I know, because here they're never gonna be welcome. This is pretty insane stuff to say, unless you spend in your country as unwelcome your entire lifehood. And if you witness the stuff I did, then it's not insane, because you have nothing to lose. If you have nothing, you have nothing to lose. 1.8 kilometer from our home is where this fire rescue station is located. Just like you see it right there. You'll say right across the KRKA River. Yeah, on the other side of the KRKA River practically is KRKA Pharmaceutical. That's that big complex that you see right there. So that's a river right there, you can see it. And just a little bit on the semaphore light as you would turn left, there is this fire rescue. They did blame it on fire rescue. They do have vehicles, intervention vehicles, that some way these vehicles, when it's a bigger vehicle, it's got a different sound, it's got a different alarm. But when it's an intervention vehicle like this one, it's not far from police or from ambulance vehicle. Just a moment. Do you hear this? Let's go here to the beginning of it. This kind of stuff, I am not aware that this kind of stuff they would have in the United States of America. I was mostly aware of police vehicles stopping people before issuing them citations and stuff like this. They would pull people over with signals like this. Yeah, you would have this kind of stuff, that you would have either sheriff or you would have a police department vehicle that would alert or maybe alert people in their presence, maybe not even issue them citation, maybe just a little warning, whatever. So you can hear that this is very, very identical to the ambulance vehicle that I demonstrated you earlier. Yeah, it is. This that's exactly what they did to me right here at 9:20 today at 21:20 hours. Yeah, this is identical, so it's very difficult to tell if it's a fire rescue or it's an ambulance vehicle, but for the most part I do not see ambulance fire rescue vehicles. I mostly see ambulance vehicles doing this kind of stuff, crazy stuff with lights on and just deliberately basically abusing traffic signals, I should say, sound signals, alarms, to traumatize, simply deliberately. They do so because I know, because they do this stuff on Sunday, they do this stuff on Saturdays, and they do this early in the mornings when there is no traffic on the road and so on. I was driving around with these people. They told me we do this stuff so that if there is a pedestrian on the road, so that they hear us, that we are coming through, etc., that kind of stuff. No, none of this stuff is normal, because Slovenia did not manage to resolve this case for 53 years, and all these fire rescue, police officers, ambulance workers, they were all involved in it. Every fucking ambulance worker in Slovenia knows about this case. I'm not even talking about police. We're talking about the fucking fire rescue and ambulance. And so, how the fuck should I see this as a normal? I don't see nothing normal. Like I said, they came from somewhere like homeless dogs. Yeah, that's exactly where they're going to return. for as long as I live. Not that you're not going to get from me a recognition for the country, but I'm going to work. I pledge my life to get you scum out of here. You don't belong here. What you tutored me about the Italians, about the Germans during the World War II occupation, how you suffered occupation, that's exactly what you did with my life. I'm now 53. And that's exactly how I see you. When you're standing up in front of me in a police uniform or fire rescue uniform or ambulance as an ambulance worker, that's exactly what you are. Just remember this. I don't have anything positive I could say about the Germans. I don't know. You're going to see the video I'm going to release about the change of the maintenance of the car, basically. Change the air filter, what happened. And you will understand when we go to the year 1983, 1980, when I have a German financial minister coming inside of our house. And Slovenian side asking him, with the Serbs that will be meeting here inside of our house, with Milosevic asking this minister, the Germans, if they can also tell them during the meetings on how the economy, not the welfare, but in economic sense, how the life is going to improve over the course of the years. And they were doing the calculations and that kind of stuff. That will be this minister here from BND, who will also have another guy that will come in our house. I don't know him by the name, but I know when I see him. Also, but I am looking for another who was presented to me like a great friend, like my great ally, supporter, etc., etc. No? His name is Helmut Hausmann, and he was involved in this since my earliest childhood. This one here. This one was involved since my earliest childhood. I'm actually surprised he's still alive. He was coming in our house very often. And then he had also his advisors, deputies, that they would be coming. I remember that tall German with quite slender guy. Eventually he turned against me. Everybody turns against me. That's at least what they want you to see things is, that they turn against you. Now the truth is visible today. Today is the evidence about what truly went on all along. Nobody turned against anybody or anything like that. They had a program like this to play good guys and bad guys and murder in between. I will never forget Princess Anne eating habits. Will never forget that when she was teaching me to eat little, not a lot, but just a little bit. And small nips, and was talking to me about the health problems, that for my health problems this is the best solution, she said. She said to me, for my health problems, that this is the best solution in 1993, 1992 maybe. What kind of health problems? That's 33 years ago. What fucking health problems? I'm talking about the poisoning here. They were doing poisoning. They knew exactly what they're doing. I did not explain anything on my blog about the stuff that went on. The stuff these people were doing so thoroughly that I would not even feel explaining to you people about what went on. And I would not even feel explaining to you people what went on, because I'm not going to say I hear voices in my head from these people. This was my life. This was my life. But you would expect there is somebody out there on your side that took notes of it and is going to rush to the rescue. Yet this was just not the case. It's weird to understand the way I feel about this stuff, about the stuff that went on. We don't know anything about what these people do because of what I stated here. Because most of the victims that are abused, to them it's crystal clear about what went on. Miran Sudin was making the point out of my carrying around so many belongings. Even on a day of the meeting with him at the police station, where I was going to present him the proofs, he attacked me, basically ridiculed me for having that stuff with me. But this was the individual who ridiculed me. This was the individual who tortured me, harassed me with this very issue inside of our house. This was exactly the individual who witnessed the torture pertaining to destruction of the property during MK Ultra, demonstrated me what am I going to receive through the postal services, demonstrated me on what's going to happen if I'm going to leave the stuff behind when outside of the home, outside, threatened me with it, and even intimidated that he will see me as insane if I will be carrying the stuff around, together with the employees from Novo Mesto Court, security officers that work at the front of the courthouse. When they check you when you go inside, they would deliver me many times in the courthouse. They would have me wear the backpack during MK Ultra, or somebody else would deliver the backpack wherever. Just like my backpack, that is exactly correct. Just like my backpack. They were using this type of backpacks exactly. They would get them from, I think the name of the store is maybe even Igloo in Ljubljana. They had some stores in Ljubljana. They would get this kind of backpacks. And when it comes to Eurospin, I did talk to you about the product testers. Lidl, Eurospin, Hofer, Germans and Italians gave Slovenian police, Slovenian psychiatrists, assortiment of products they would be selling, electronic stuff, that kind of stuff, through local stores in the future. They would advertise on specials, etc., etc., etc. There's no doubt about how that stuff happened. And even intimidate at Novo Mesto Court and inside of the police station on what he's going to think about me if I will be carrying around the stuff. If I will be carrying a lot of stuff around. And when I confronted one with why would I be carrying the stuff around inside of our house, Miran Sudin did not hesitate. to laugh at me and start to remind indirectly about the stuff they demonstrated me during MK Ultra they're going to destroy. Demonstrated me stuff destroyed during MK Ultra didn't even make sense anymore, because during late stages of MK Ultra, police destroyed already considerable amount of evidence, which I was so stupid that I failed to video record the stuff that was delivered to me at home. If I video recorded those earliest things that they delivered at home, because once they saw that I am video recording them, that I'm video recording every postal service delivery before even opening one, they reduce the degree of violence. You should see the backpack I got. The stuff that was delivered to me, that I paid for a new backpack, and it's completely different backpack that came, old, God knows how fucking old, worn, destroyed, with police investigators guaranteeing me, claiming me that I destroyed their backpacks during MK Ultra torture and so on, claiming me that they're gonna switch me backpacks with their backpacks and so on. I did mention Germans because I acknowledge what you see here is completely insane. This is the old tradition. That's exactly what they would do always. And notice that this video is just uploaded 2 months ago. Basically, what I feel about these people is they have too much money and too much time at hand, and this is why things go like this. No, I don't have anything against this stuff. It does not bother me. It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. It doesn't bother me. What bothers me, what I'm disturbed with, is something else. The stuff that I mentioned to you earlier. Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? This supposed to be a gain for the community. There should be people on the streets happy to see this vehicle. There should be people on the streets happy to see the fireman. That's the way it is, because these are the people that will stop the fire, potential fire in your neighborhood, maybe even in your house or in the area that otherwise potentially is going to cost you fortune. That's what this is. Now think about, from my perspective, what the fuck this is. Now see it through my eyes, what this is. And I am not even the only person. I'm not even the only person. This is being used, according to Vladimir Putin, trust me, I was hijacked to Belarus more times than what I can count. I didn't even say Russia. But I used the Belarus issue. It's called Marshrutka. This is called Marshrutka. It's called Marshrutka, this kind of stuff. And these are minivans that I use to transport private citizens, people around the city, travelers, whatever. That's what they use in Belarus, in Russia. It's extremely convenient way to travel, where the bus is not available, etc., etc. They have this also in Slovenia. In some cases, it helps people being connected without a transportation, being connected to the cities, etc. Especially if they live on the outskirts of the city or on a country or whatever the case might be. It's a cheaper way to travel. Yet, when I was in Belarus, I watched ambulance because they were also using from the ex-ambulance vehicles running around the city and terrorizing people 24/7, also with the sirens. The good thing about me was that at that point in time, in 2017, I was already so fucking insane. I was already so fucking crazy. With, I should just say, I had so many problems in my head that I was not even burdened with this shit. Because my life was more than toilet. That's how I landed inside of the Belarus, running away from European Union, Ursula von der Leyen, Germans, British, French, Scandinavians, Dutch, Americans, even to the Belarus. I was so fucking insane that you could put 50 ambulance vehicles next to me and blow them. It would actually make me feel good, because it would relieve the stress. This is how insane I was. I had nothing in my head, nowhere even near, that would cross my mind I would be talking to you about ambulance vehicles. When I see this propaganda here that you see here, I see myself like this guy here that you see. that I spend my life like this guy, like this. And this one looks like some kind of a patient from hospital or something like that. This is how I see myself as. That's how I saw myself. And whenever I saw this commercial, this is how I saw it. And you're gonna hear people, "Hurrah, hurrah, Druk Stalin, hurrah, yes!" I just don't know which one is more insane here, because the Soviet Union no longer exists. And this murderous animal from London, they call him now a King Charles. This violent lunatic was the one who was reviving the trauma from my childhood and teenage years all the way to adulthood. So that just like Slovenes, for what I stated earlier, they were not hiding only behind the Russians and behind the Serbs. Slovenes were not hiding only behind the so-called Yugoslavia, the greater Serbian Chetnik state. They were also hiding behind the mask of the Soviet Union. And, as I stated earlier in Slovenian language, behind the mask of Adolf Hitler, behind the mask of a Nazi Germany. Yeah, that's exactly what you do when you accuse one of being neo-Nazi, a lover of the Hitler, with such a dark history behind you. You're looking for a common interest of the humanity, which you're using, which you're abusing to hide your real interests. In extermination procedure against me, which you commenced at my age 3 months, 1972. I see myself in this guy here. I don't know what he say, Viva Stalin or what? Stalin! Give not to Stalin! There you go. Мира и счастья всем вам. He talks like a psychiatrist. He talks like an authority that is absolutely correct. He talks like a Slovenian state, the way you see it. He talks about the peace, about the happiness. He talks like a minister Boštjan Poklukar that I demonstrated in a previous video. Claiming that Slovenian police it's a little bit slow. This is what police got me. Slovenian police is a defender of the rule of law, a defender of the human rights, a partner to the people, and an ally of the European security. No? Might sound crazy? I have the reason to see him as a psychiatrist. I have the reason to see Boštjan Poklukar, to see the Slovenian police and Slovenes in this commercial here that you see.
Друзья мои,
можно мне вас поцеловать, товарищ Сталин? За все, что вы сделали для нашего народа, для нас. Братья, Сталин! Сталин! Сталин!
Сталин! Сталин! Мира и счастья всем вам, друзья мои.
Do you hear this ending here? Where he says, basically, I see these people here that are so cheering as a mob, as a lynch mob, regular lynch mob. And that is their FIR, who is talking about something that have no connection to reality. And the end is grim. Wah! He basically says, you don't see what's actually happening underground. That's a Slovenia, right here.
За все, что вы сделали для нашего народа, для нас. Братья, Сталин!
This is what MK Ultra mob looked like. This is what Milan Kucan, this is what Borut Pahor, this is what Tanja Fajon, this is what all this Slovenian apparatchiks used to look like with the Vladimir Putin, with Alexander Vucic in my eyes during MK Ultra. Precisely like this.
Мира.
He's talking about shit Boštjan Poklukar, referred to as Slovenian police, is a defender of the human rights of the state based on laws, on a constitution. That's exactly what this shit is. And behind there is something else going on.
И счастья всем вам, друзья мои.
Yeah. Мира и счастья всем, друзья мои. Peace and happiness to all. For you don't even exist. They refer to me as an alien from the space. Yes, to everybody. Except to those people. Obviously, I'm not a human being. Obviously, I'm not a human being. Obviously, except to those of us that do not exist. And if it's that we don't exist, then it's, of course, to everybody. Straight from this commercial, that is Slovenia, and Slovenes study this psychology. And Slovenes enforce this psychology against me for no less than 53 years. I'm a proud person, proud to say, proud to point out about this stuff. Yeah. If you like this stuff, you guys are gonna fucking love it. For I did not exist for 53 years. There was no need for you to talk to me about the Adolf Hitler or the Nazi Germany. And you know that both sides of my family were deeply involved in a national resistance, in a partisan movement, receiving even the highest Yugoslav rewards for the bravery during the World War II against the neo-Nazi Germany and the fascist Italy. I don't actually have anything to say. If you want to go and you want to entertain yourself on this channel, he uploaded this. This is from a year ago. This channel. That's interesting because he was involved in this stuff since. Talking about the YouTube channel, placing. I don't know how much stuff he placed on a YouTube beginning in 1998, but he was involved in it, and he was involved in Mount Everest of torture. He got 2 other guys. It was entire crew that climbed on the picture systematically, and he came on the picture. He came on the picture exactly like my friend, somebody who was deeply concerned for me, somebody who was worried for me, etc., etc. And then all of a sudden I saw him in Ljubljana in some state building with a Milan Kučan, where he was talking about in exactly totally identical to this issue here I'm about to demonstrate you. Individual which is standing right in front of the helicopter, did not know anything about me, did not even notice me. It wasn't much after he finished his degree. Supposedly he has a university degree. Supposedly he has a university degree. Talking about this guy here. Who stated, this goes way back in time. This go, like I said, I don't know, 2012 or something like that. 2011, 2012, I don't know, 2013, I don't know. I have to think about this stuff more. He just finished a degree and said that he is doing a job. He said, that's what he said to me during MKUltra. He's doing a job only because of me. And otherwise, he doesn't want to do the job. He learned about 2014 it was. He learned about them as not being good, etc., etc., etc. And he did not know anything about this, was what the guy claimed. He did not know anything about it. And when he learned about this stuff, that he doesn't want to have anything to them, and he's only doing this kind of stuff for me. And I have a Luis Peterle, Luisek, and I had this Kremeniti Slovenci, Janez Janša, etc., etc. This is from the Kran, Gorenska region, and don't disgrace us. Listen to this shit. Do not disgrace us. Yeah? Do not disgrace us. Do not disgrace us. Can you imagine this? Can you fucking imagine this? Born in 1971 on December 9. With all together, when it comes to income in Slovenia, that is social support and income earned, I don't believe it exceeds, when it comes to euros, it probably does not exceeds 5,000, 6,000 euros. I'm now age 53. Do not disgrace us. Beaten up since my childhood, abused through MKUltra bestiality, lynching, escaped from Slovenia at age 23, again, after departing to Austria. Thrown into psychiatric hospital after 38 years of torture of MKUltra lynching, forced unemployment, which extended well beyond Slovenian borders, not only to Austria, but also to United States of America, across America, and across the German Europe. You're fucking saying to me not to disgrace you because the location is Kran. And a guy claims that he sees himself in me, not in them. And then you ask me about what do I think about the Loise Peterle and about the Janez Janša and about all this so-called Jože Pučnik, France Bučar, about all this big Slovenes, pro-independent Slovenes. What do I think about this scum? Not too much, to be honest. They wanted me to compare myself, compete with them. Based on what they claim was a mental illness, sickness, which they presented the Slovenian independence issues to me as. Once Slovenia became independent, since the childhood as they worked together with the UDBA, with the KGB, with the OZNA, they demanded from me to see myself as a martyr, as a sacrificer, as a Christ. I don't have anything I would say about the garbage that you see over there other than in 2014, 2015, shitback came also to the Novo Mesto city with the Borut Pahor, with the Milan Kučan, because he was extremely motivating in leaving the police and work instead for Ministry of Interior. They started to get him a job. This one is already prepared to change job, to settle job for better job, for another job. And I don't think he even finished, he even graduated in university. I think this guy was full of shit, because this is shit. Do not disgrace us. You can talk to me a lot about what Slovenia is. But if you don't see Slovenia through the eyes of somebody who was born here, then I don't know what's the point about talking about Slovenia. So, if you like this channel, if you like this kind of stuff, then this is the channel for you. To me personally, this is just a feeling that I have, is that many of these ambulance workers, many of these police workers, fire rescue workers, are completely out of control. They have, in many cases, lost self-control, professionalism, and or are deliberately, maybe they deliberately acted insane. Many of these incidents that you see here, if not every one of the incidents that you see on these videos, they had me participate. And the way they do this stuff, this station here that you see, they get whoever from wherever at a certain location where you are at, and you get to watch the ambulance vehicles going past you, horning, doing the shit, and he is recording with a video camera. Then what they do is they throw the stuff on the internet. Probably every one of these videos, and not only on one occasion, but on multiple occasions, like the location that you see right there, they had me participate during the video recording. I don't have a time to go over all these videos. I do recall locations such as the fire station, this kind of stuff. I recall this location here at the entrance at the beginning. I recall this stuff. I don't know if the same ambulance vehicles were used. You can see everything is uploaded beginning a year ago. Within the last 2 years, everything is uploading, and a whole lot is happening to this guy. He does have an email address listed here, but some of these vehicles clearly indicate might be of the older, also of the older video recordings on it. So that's all I gotta say. It was 20 minutes, like I said, which clearly indicated deliberate harassment. Yeah, he's gonna say in his defense, I had to do this or I would have to blow the siren all the way, etc., etc., etc. Yeah. Hello? Is this 911? Yeah. I just grabbed myself with a dick. By the way, what time is it now? 21:40? Okay, let's go. And so, where are we coming, sir? Can you give us an address? Yes, of course I can give you my address. Broken leg, 2010, not written inside of the medical files yet. The sooner you come, the sooner we're going to write in the medical files. Best regards to the targeted individual at KRKA 1, 8000 Novo Mesto. Thank you very much. Okay, sir, we are coming. This is what this goons, this is what this goon shit is. That's what this is. Not in every case, absolutely not in every case. But the way I describe this stuff, with numerous people involved in it who experienced physical injuries or experienced medical procedures in exactly in a way I describe you, without even having their problems entered already in the medical files and treated in the future for injuries, etc., which already took place. One of those individuals was my mother. My mother doesn't know anything about this individual. She doesn't know anything about this individual here. This was one of the most often visitors to our home. She doesn't know anything about this visitor. She knows nothing about this visitor. So this is the visitor who procalculated together with his assistants in 1986, as Milan Kuchan asked in front of me, German government, to explain if they will have. Father always dreamed about the Volkswagen. He used to have this buggy Volkswagen, not buggy, but whatever the name is. I don't know, Beetle, old Beetle Volkswagen he used to have. And he liked the Volkswagen very much because it didn't break as often as Yugo 45. If there will be such a thing, I completely dismissed any Yugoslav car. All I wanted is German and French cars. I didn't want to see nothing, no Yugoslav car, no, not even a Renault 4 or Yugo 45, anything like this, Zastava. I didn't want to see it anywhere. Anywhere in the picture, not Lada, not fucking shit. And so what they did is, it was prohibited, it was illegal to even think about having a German car. We did have a factory of the German cars inside of Yugoslavia in Sarajevo. It was called TAS, Tvornica Automobila Sarajevo, in Sarajevo. And the factory started sometimes when I was a baby, practically. Literally through this case. Together with Renault. In my case, in case of my father, it was prohibited to consider that we would ever own any kind of German car. No, Milan Kuchan treated me like a mental patient since I was a child, since I was a baby. And when he heard about the German cars even, That was the worst thing that I possibly could do. And he didn't hear one. He heard this shit over and over since my childhood, because this is the way it was. Milan Kucan got these people together with the Serbs, and they wanted to know if there would be chances for the people from Slovenia buying themselves German cars, people from Yugoslavia. And they calculated and they said there would be a possibility for such car. That would be a Volkswagen Polo, the smallest Volkswagen by the name Polo. When Slovenia had fallen apart, actually Yugoslavia fall apart in 91, his assistant, who kept coming to Slovenia, he no longer would come to Slovenia beginning 1989, claiming that I caused him a trouble, etc. Because he's blonde, they started to view one as a racist. And since I adhered the blonde people, blonde color, I screw him up. This was enough. That's it. That's how I was a neo-Nazi. That's it. I was viewed as a Nazi during MK Ultra, during the torture. I told you, you don't have to do crime in today's world. You don't have to be crime to be guilty, to be sentenced to death. You don't have to commit crime. You don't have to commit crime to be sentenced to death. It's not about being innocent until proven guilty. You understand? You don't have to commit crime to be sentenced to death as a baby. And his assistant suggested, the more the problem steer, he suggested to me laughingly, there are greater and greater chances that your father is going to have a Volkswagen Polo. As it became totally evident that Yugoslavia is going to fall apart, together with the Soviet Union. That started sometimes in 1989, so this guy would no longer even come. In 91, Yugoslavia fell apart, Slovenia became independent. He said to me, your father is going to have at least Volkswagen Polo now. For sure, I guarantee you. I prorated his pensions and everything, work stage and everything. It's a minimum that he's going to have. This is the way it went. Mother said to me when I asked her the day before yesterday about this guy, she doesn't know anything about this guy. She said, I'm lying. That I'm lying. That's what the German government did to me. Let me say to you something. That's what the German cars are going to do to you. That's what the German women are going to do to you. That's what happens to you when you see yourself in a country that lost the Second World War and is country with a national integrity only on the map. As for everything else inside of the Germany is for sale. Nothing is more for sale than people. And that's the biggest business in Germany. This here, the violence, the ambulance vehicles, this stuff here, this. He already made it through the intersection. He keeps going. This does not start in independent Slovenia. This only continued in independent Slovenia. I had a Bosnian, Serbian employees from General Hospital Novo Mesto, and it was the same when I was delivered to the Serbia and to Bosnia and to Croatia and other parts, that shook in anger when I was just 8 years of age, guaranteeing me a horrific death through the psychiatry, and engaging in a physical violence. It wasn't an incident. It was not a coincidence when in 2007 at the place called Hell, this location here, I almost skid into death. Almost end up killing myself. In a location called Hell, Pekel, translated Pekel. From Slovenian Pekel, it's called Hell. Since I was returning back home, I did explain about a road being painted with the oil, covered with the oil. This would go to this area here. There is such a place like a Hell. It's called a Hell. And this is also where MK Ultra took place with the Milan Kuchan and local Roma community. The Roma community didn't have nothing to do with this. I did explain to you about the tires, how they changed the tires, took a brand new tires off my car and put completely worn out used tires on it. I did explain to you about that issue. And that's where I almost ended up being killed with the ambulance vehicle. I think it was parked here on the side of the road as somehow I managed through that evening with the ambulance vehicle. I think it was parked here like this. Here, if you fell down here on the road, I know it was right before the housing, whatever the hell that was. You are so fucking dead that they don't put you together with the super glue. Nobody puts you together. There is no fucking way that if you skid off the road in this location known as Pekel right there, you break yourself with the car, you turn yourself with the car, you roll yourself with the car down into the precipice. You are beyond dead. You'd be better off dead than, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, man. Spending the rest of your life with a broken ribs in some hospital. Okay, so now we are closer. That's a Hudea right here. Because I gotta find a way. I never went there anymore. And I didn't even look at the map because it was so traumatizing for me, this stuff. I don't even know where the hell this is, but that should be here somewhere, right? Yeah, I gotta see even how I used to get there. I was going really not fast at all, yet the car would just go. Basically, the car floated on the road, completely floated on the road. It's like you're fucking skidding, like you're roller skating. Not roller skating, but like you're I don't actually. I gotta see where the hell this is. HARASSED. They were police was also asking me. Božičnik was asking me about this road. They went and they see from Novo Mesto police station to investigate this inside of our house, and they talked to me that there is not even a dangerous place or anything like this. Stuff I'm talking about, boy. It's steep as a motherfucker. When you start to roll down over there, you're gone. You're gone of the picture. The only thing that happen is they put you together with a super glue. Maybe they can put you together. You're gone. Yeah, I got a feeling that this is not even the location that where I zoomed in right there. That's not a location at all. Yeah, I gotta play with this stuff to see where exactly I traveled. Yeah, but this has gotta be a location. I don't understand why is it that the whole thing look like it's flat or something like that. It's not flat. That's where you go uphill here. Yeah, this must have been here. This must have been here. This is a hill here. So I noticed there is this is not where this place is, because there is a pedestrian walk here. There is a sidewalk, and so there was no sidewalk. There was nothing like this. We didn't have any kind of sidewalk. So this is not even here. This is another location that I have to find. There was no sidewalk there. There is no sidewalk over there. This is in area of this place here. It says Judea here. That's a Roma settlement. And how the hell did I get through here? I don't understand. I went through exactly the road that my father would go through always. And maybe that's not even the road where I'm supposed to go, but that's what I followed. So I gotta go see this place and yet see exactly where the hell I went, because okay, yeah, might be this road here. The only thing I'm going to say to you, if you fell down because they were laughing at me, they said you cannot even kill yourself over there. That's fucking crazy. If your car rolls around over there, you'll be better off dead. You'll be in better situation being dead than you'll be much better off dead than transported to the hospital. I can't go and do this stuff right now. I gotta go and take time and see it. No. simply I have to take time to see that. I was so traumatized I would not even go there ever again, or wanted to see even on the map this fucking place. This was location, the road I'm talking about was location that was MK Ultra location. A heavy torture MK Ultra location. This Hudea here is a Roma settlement. This is where Milan Kucan would have me walk through here. During MK Ultra, this would be a MK. This was a MK Ultra route. What you see here, this Trebnje through here, and through this next to this Ribnik Hudea. Actually, this way. Yeah. Trebnje Mirna. This here, this toward Mirna. It's supposed to be a prison, and from here toward all the way towards Zidani Most. This was the MK Ultra route that I was doing since I was child. Since I was child, I would do this MK Ultra route. Milan Kucan had me walk with his henchmen during Yugoslavia along the what are here Roma settlements. There is several Roma settlements, and this is exactly the route I took when I went to purchase the car, the Citroën. The Citroën that I purchased is exactly the route that I took. And I went past these Roma settlements, for which they told me, if you're even going to come close here, we will kill you, we will kill you, they will kill you, we will kill you, they will kill you, we will kill you. Milan Kucan was a special guest inside of these Roma settlements. He would go with the police and he would be a guest over there. Presented himself as the one concerned for them, for their well-being, etc., the one helping them out, and in return for the physical and psychological torture inside of these camps. That's the way it was with Milan Kucan. This is a very, very old MK Ultra route. Prison Mirna. Was involved in my case since I was a child, since I was baby, is where I was delivered to the prison, to Mirna. This goes to Josip Broz Tito times. Mirna. Mirna was a big deal. I completely forgot about this prison. There is some they call this now DOP, and they call it the DOP. Why do they call DOP? Prison DOP? They call this prison DOP because they did not want me to recall what went on inside of Mirna. They renamed the prison Mirna into DOP by adding the extra facilities, newer facilities. Borut Pahor, this guy here that I demonstrated you, the most he was afraid with Milan Kucan was my connecting myself to the Mirna prison through the memories that I would pull out of my memories. Torture inside of the prison known as Mirna prison. So what they did, what Slovenes did in their independent Slovenia, they renamed it by adding new facilities to existing prison they rename it into DOP. Well, it became DOP because one thing they did not want me to, they didn't want me to affiliate stuff that went on during Yugoslavia. They didn't know what to do. And so this is how they protected themselves. They protected themselves by even changing the name from Mirna to Dob. Yes, of course there is a Dob location over there. We all know that. But the prison used to be known as a prison Mirna. Mirna prison. During Yugoslavia, it was all about the Mirna prison, not about the Dob. Right? So afraid that they would change the name of the prison. This man right there, Milan Kuchan. This here. Ruski. Rusini. So, do you know who this man is? The first president of the so-called Slovenia. That's what this man is. So don't you fucking dare to address me with a Slovenian. Don't even fucking think about it, because there's not a drop of blood of the Slovenian inside of me. One thing is sure, Slovenian I am not. I have Slovenian passport because this is what they gave after 1991. Before that it was a Yugoslav passport, but that's all there is. That's the only thing that ties me to this place. Other than that, we are done. I told you about the ambulance vehicle when I almost killed myself, almost rolled myself over into a precipice, that it was a ambulance vehicle on the first, exactly based on MK Ultra, that's right. On the first curve when I came out right before the settlement, that was an ambulance vehicle. I yet have to see where the fuck this happened to me. Because the only thing I did was I pick up my shit. Car eventually started. I drove myself with a broken tire to the first location that was that had a lights inside of the settlement at the Trebnje. So when I stopped, I pulled a spare tire and I changed the tire. And when I was changing the tire, I think it was a spare tire. And I'm not even sure it was a spare tire. Might have been the original tire from the United States of America that I had as a spare tire, that I kept the tire from my original tire, Firestone tires from the USA, which came originally with the car. I replaced the tire on the car and drove to Novo Mesto with car that was actually even pulling me sideways, basically. And I made it. And as soon as I came home, in front of our house, and it was like also 9:20 or something like this, 9:30, whatever it was, maybe even closer to 10 o'clock. I don't know what time it was. Evening, late night, you don't go to the visits to the people. It was a neighbor, physician, Dr. Igor Kotar. I turned in our home, I made it. Right behind me, it was Igor Kotar. Not right behind me, but 2-3 minutes later, it was Igor Kotar that popped up in front of our home, right behind me. Okay? At the entrance of our house where I stopped the car, I walk out of the house, out of the car. I walked a little bit back and forth, cleaned my hands, whatever I did. I was stressed out like a mouse. And guess who came? It was Igor Kotar, physician, doctor from local general hospital, Novo Mesto. And it was all based on MK Ultra, including with an ambulance vehicle, which was parked on the first curb before you head to the settlement. You didn't know this shit is gonna come out, but it did. Yeah, I was just gonna post that stuff, and I realized that this is the stuff that is missing, and if I will not include this in a video, it's just unfortunate. Nobody's gonna get to understand this portion of it. A little earlier, I did talk about certain things about what person that is exposed to torture see things, how he see things. As I told you about my being in Belarus, like a totally insane already. Due to overwhelming amount of torture, due to overwhelming abuse of my rights. Yes, I no longer know what is right, what is wrong, how it shall be, how shall be not. This is just the way it is. This is how things are. This is what things done this way. And so I figure out that no, absolutely nothing was wrong with me. I'm just trying to say that if you put me next to the ambulance vehicle, I was taking granted all the abuse. This is what I'm trying to say. The abuse became part of the normal in my life. That means not being normal when you start to consider stuff that is not normal as normal. You are insane. I spend my life insane. But I spent my life outside of the jail, meaning that I did not correspond with the requirements. Because insanity I'm talking about was used to create incident out of torture procedures which they enforced throughout MK Ultra. And so yes, I was insane in a good sense. I was insane with ability to stay away from trouble. Survive, basically. But definitely insane. Human brain has a capacity to ignore even the worst abuse you can do to one, postpone till the time is right to confront one. And I just happen to have that type of timing ability extremely well developed. If I wouldn't have one, you wouldn't hear from me on the first place. So this here, you're going to have to read this stuff here. Animals from NOVO MESTO General Hospital tortured me about their line of work during MK Ultra. On pedestrians and even cats, dogs, they ran over unintentionally during the rush, or I should say almost. Ran over or almost. They claimed me they did not ran over. They claimed me they had they brought somebody on the picture also, and they argued about whose fault that was and how professional they are, etc., etc., etc. It was about almost. It was about the prevention. And it's why best is to occasionally to use alarm in a calm evening hours. If I go into madness of this individual from General Hospital NOVO MESTO ambulance worker who was brainwashing me on how to see this harassments as, they obviously did not want me to report about this stuff. They did not count on that one day my brain is eventually going to liberate itself so much so that it will be all the harassment, all the stuff they're doing, eventually confronted, like I'm doing right now. Yeah, I mean, if you continue to attack somebody, it doesn't only become part of the normal, but yeah, it becomes part of his normal. This is the road on the other side of the KRKA River, and it is ours. It's empty, more empty than not. Actually, very empty. But what you do is, you harass him, you intimidate him, you load shit on him so often. What he did was a line of harassment. The type of work that is used to shut the brain off due to overwhelming amount of violence against one. Ongoing violence. That's exactly what he did. Just like you take the refuge and you go to buy something, do some shopping, or you go for a walk, or whatever the fuck you do, the line of work of these people is to prevent people from taking break of any kind. The line of work they have is to prevent people from relaxing itself. That's exactly what this guy did tonight. That's what they do all the time. That's their line of work. That's what they do. He was driving me exactly what you see here, not on one occasion, but on several, suggesting that there is a cat that can go across, or there will be old men, too much relaxed, they will go, and just by giving the little siren, little buzz, it alerts one coming through because it's an urgency, that kind of stuff, which had nothing to do with the reality, however. This is on the other side of the KRKA River. A little bit more is where our house is. They did profile the area, this little factory over there, the area here, the ability for the people to grow across the street. I don't ever see anybody here. I don't see children playing here. This used to be one of the most deadliest, the most dangerous roads in entire Yugoslavia. But this road is practically closed. This road doesn't exist anymore. What you see here is what is long, long, long gone. Let me demonstrate. They might say to you, cretins might say to you, they might say to you, oh, well, you know, but this is, you know, they're going to say to you that the girl from the cause was killed here, a daughter. She was playing, it was the car that hit her. Yes, in Yugoslavia, this was the main road. That's why. This was the main road in Yugoslavia. They know, the ambulance worker from Novo Mesto police station know about this little girl, that she played where she not supposed to. They know about this stuff, and the car hit her. Because I remember the ambulance worker talking about this stuff, and they say, definitely we're going to harass him across the KRKA River. Definitely, where I am on the other side of the KRKA River. This is our house right there. So this is few extra minutes that I explained to you about this stuff. Who is doing this stuff, why they're doing this stuff, where they got the guts, where they got a courage to do this stuff like this. There is no children. There is nobody playing here. Nothing. Nothing goes on here. There is nothing going on here. This road no longer exists. The road that you have seen no longer exists. In terms of Yugoslavia, this road no longer exists because it was replaced by what you see, rondos here, round, completely different highway-alike road that goes through here, completely a road that goes parallel to that road, that make things completely different for the commute, for the traffic. That road doesn't exist anymore. It's a non-existing road. In terms of what used to be Yugoslavia, this road doesn't exist. And moreover, the road does not exist anymore because we have, this is a superhighway right here, right? That road doesn't exist anymore. That's an autobahn right here. It doesn't exist. That road, in terms of what used to be Yugoslavia, no longer exists. Now there is something else, however, that existed, and it still exists. Let us not forget about the son from Igor Kotar. There was a tree. This was so long ago that I also don't recall where the hell this was. There was a tree, and Igor Kotar, his son, Junior Igorchik, smashed into the tree with such a force so that he supposedly was killed on the spot. That's what they said, that he was killed. That's the neighbor. Igor Kotar had a son, and that supposedly was what it took place, because he came with a car with such a speed that he split the Lada. It was a Lada on half. Smashed the car that was given to him as a gift. This entitled garbage from Slovenia, all of them, they were getting everything for free. From my neighbor Berger to Kotar to Zdenko Yerman, etc., etc. They were giving them cars for free. None of these kids knew anything about going to work and work before buying yourself a car with your own money. I was the only kid ever who did not sit inside of the father's car behind the wheel of the car. I was the only one who walked, biked, whatever the fuck it was, till I purchased myself my car with my own saving, with my own money. Guess what? Everybody else, from Peterlin to everybody, they were all given, entire village, everybody, the whole fucking city, their parents gave them cars. Nobody gave me shit. And this kind of entitled kids, they do the stuff they're not supposed to do. Unfortunately, I imitated these crazy kids too. I wasn't really any better when it comes to the traffic. As crazy I became because of this MK Ultra, I was not really a role example. This one killed himself right there, right on the other side of KRKA River. Boom! With a car. Another one who got killed were the people with a neighbor, Andrei Ul. Andrei Ul had some kind of a Lancia car, whatever. I don't know what it was. It was about Lancia and a motorbike or whatever the fuck it was. There was people inside of his car that he also smashed. I think that he got killed, and or that he smashed with his motorcycle because of the speed, because of velocity into the car, and the people got killed. All I know is he's a lunatic that this is a sick man who was arrested by the police more times than what I can count since he was a child. Milan Kuchan had him moved to our village. And I witnessed this lunatic racing on a daily basis through here, through this little road where eventually they restricted the speed to 40 kilometers an hour. I watched this lunatic racing with a motorcycle through here with excessive speeds of up to probably, I don't know, 130 kilometers an hour, maybe more, maybe even 150 kilometers an hour. He always had a heavy motorcycles, the heaviest motorcycles, and he would give himself a power, man, going through the village and to the full, all the way up to here and so on, and then braking here and then rushing through here. And so if you were not careful, man, he could fucking kill you with a car, either with a car or with a motorbike. He used to have this. . heavy motorcycle he demonstrated during MK Ultra about what he was, anywhere from this kind of motorcycles to motocross to all kinds of stuff like that. He had a Lancia car. What's interesting is there's nothing on his criminal record. That's what's interesting. Including the incident in which people died. They removed that from the public view. So he worked alongside the police. This is how he redeemed himself as far as police removing his criminal record from evidence, basically. Slovenian police. So there was more stuff that went on here on the other side of the KRKA River. Slovenian police, ambulance worker from General Hospital Novo Mesto were troubled with other issues together with their psychiatrist from Ljubljana Polje. Slovenian psychiatrists and politicians from Slovenian parliament. They had other problems. They have a lot of problems in respect to harassment with a siren. That's why this here, it's actually important stuff that I wasn't gonna add to this video. But then I decided, I said to myself, you know what, fuck this. Why don't we end this stuff here? He talked to me about between 1700 and 20-30 hours. That these are the hours that people are not, and laughing like crazy when I was asking him, when I expressed the interest in understanding this, in knowing about this stuff. Obviously what he meant is that he's going to be harassing me with ambulance vehicle across the other side of KRKA River. So these ambulance workers, they knew all about the stuff that went on the other side of the KRKA River. They planned on with Borut Pahor to create limonada. Limonada is like a movie that these people saw themselves in a movie. These lunatics saw themselves literally in a movie already. How they're talking on the cameras, how the investigators this, how they would be asked, and they would say, yeah, there's a very dangerous place, even the girl was killed and so on. This place was wonderful, this place here. This place here. In Yugoslavia. This was a beautiful, wonderful place. It might have been here that he smashed himself with a car. He was like my brother my entire life. I considered him despite everything. But he was no good. This son from Igor Kotar was up to no good. But I was a nice person like this. That in the end, his father, Igor Kotar, accused me that it was my fault that he smashed himself with a car. Maybe even drunk, who the fuck knows what went on. This was a wonderful place because here, at this place, I would be just fishing right there, like this. I would be fishing on a boat, and the only thing I would hear in Yugoslavia would be boom, boom, boom. The cars were racing through here in Yugoslavia like fucking insane. Need for the speed. Challenge of death. And they glued themselves like one after another, like a fly on the wall. One after another, crash, kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. And guess what? The only thing you could hear is a big laughter from the boat right below. That was me. You know what? For the mentally ill people, sick people that have too much fucking money, don't know what the fuck to do with their time, you should not feel sorry. Those that challenge that, those that search for the ways to die, they shouldn't be your problem. So I figure out, you know what? Fuck the motherfuckers, man. I don't even have the car. They don't know what the fuck to do with the money, and so looking for it, you get exactly what you're looking for. That's all there is to it. This garbage here from Novo Mesto police station, this garbage here, this trash, this human dunk, they bargained for more than they were able or capable to handle. And now it's coming to their front doors, at the front doors. I'm not there, I'm not allowed to go there. But they got to watch this channel. And I guarantee you, they're not very happy about this channel. They're not very happy about stuff I do. They're not very happy about it. I bet today they're not happy about what they did with my father. It might have seemed fun thing from beginning. Yes, of course. A daily commute to the father will always resolve in a presence of ambulance vehicles, because all this here that you see from here on, it's a hospital Novo Mesto. I'm not going to say just a few meters away. This is what it is, what you see here, because it's more than just a few meters. But yeah, this is what this shit is all about. That's what this is all about. This is all hospital Novo Mesto. And next to the crime they were doing, on the other side of KRKA River and all this, they figured out with the psychiatrists that all this stuff is going to add up together, and before you know, there will be a wanted results. Something will resolve in a problem. There will be something it will be, it shall be, and it will be. You see this here? This is what you get to see every fucking day when you go to father. That's why they put the father over there in that home for elderly people. This is the way this stuff was. They knew. Psychiatrist Peter Kapsch talked about this stuff. We're all crazy about this stuff, on how it will be and it shall be, and how we'll see the ambulance vehicles, and the ambulance vehicles are going to be lightning me and using as sirens at times, as it happened in front of the home for elderly people. This was part of the plan. On both sides of this, all this is all General Hospital Novo Mesto complex here, everything. This is what I was tortured since I was a baby inside. Since I was a child, they tortured at this place inside. You know, I don't know how much Google Maps want to show, but you can trust me. If I'm successful at it, you can trust me, you can bet on it. There is a big complex that you cannot see otherwise over there from the other side. It's also in this area here. This is a very, very big facility, this General Hospital Novo Mesto. This is not a small thing. That's how they stuff. That's why. They were certain, together with the police, they do have an alibi. They absolutely researched, investigated absolutely everything. One of them before to play with the sirens. And so, you know, it's so much less pressure on me that it's impossible to even explain, because of the more stuff that you give out of yourself, the more that you explain to the people, the more the truth is becoming visible, the more is becoming visible, this whole thing. The more it's about what took place and, you know, stuff they do. Every time you do it like this, it's just, you know, that's a major setback for you scum. You're gonna see, guys, when facts storm down on you, when karma, a bitch, catches up the step with you, you're gonna see how nice it is. Yeah, I know you're in Slovenia and you have nothing to worry about. I know, this is your country, I know, yeah, sure. You can do the stuff you want to do, yeah. We all know, yeah, I understand all that stuff. We're gonna see when the karma catches up the step with you. Slovenes, with you, Slovenian people, with the Slovenes. Natives from here. We're gonna see how you're gonna correspond to that one. I am gonna do it like... Did I actually use this stuff to block this whole thing? Just so excellent. I am gonna repeat this stuff. I am not gonna go record one more time. This is the complex, the General Hospital Novo MESTO complex. I'm not going and recording this all over again. I'm not fucking doing. Or playing with a video, etc., etc. Simply, I am not doing this kind of stuff. I am not doing any of this stuff because it's just overwhelmingly too much. You have this shit on both sides of the street. This is big, this stuff. And yes, this is an area where the father is, not too far from here the father is. And so they knew about all this stuff. They knew that this ambulance vehicles they fuck around with. This was a major area of psychiatrist, Peter Kaps, this stuff here. You don't get to see nothing here, but this is where they have loaded ambulance vehicles. It was a psychiatrist, Peter Kaps, in the mornings where he would transfer, or during the day when he had me trafficked, hijacked inside of his car, inside of the police cars where they would go, or whoever car they were using. They would demand from me special attention to a lot of ambulance vehicles. You love the ambulance vehicle, play with the ambulance vehicles. This is just the thing about obsession, total obsession about these ambulance vehicles. They were completely, you see this parking lot, it's empty, but these are all the interventions should be packed, jam-packed with the ambulance vehicles. During MK Ultra, they were making big deal out of that stuff. They were making a big deal out of that stuff. It was a big deal. They were especially proud about this stuff here. So for all the stuff that I told you about the other side of the KRKA River, I'm just gonna make quick tour so that you understand exactly what I was talking about. And then what we're gonna do is I am just gonna cut the video right here. Sorry about that. Exactly the description that I gave you, it should not be of any problem for me to complete this. Father is just not exactly a few meters from here, but yeah, if you consider where I come from, this is what this is. This is what this play with the ambulance, the display, this buffoonery with these ambulance vehicles at the main entrance here, making themselves large based on MK Ultra scenarios. That's what this shit was. This is what this was. This was one big fucking torture procedure. Big torture procedure. One humongous, enormous torture location. They counted on they're gonna just simply break me psychologically, mentally, wear me down. This is where our house is, right here. Right there, that's our house right here. This is where Andrei Ul would push his motorcycle up to 150 kilometers an hour through this little road here I was talking to you about, so that I could see one fly like a bullet through here, right from my window. That would be the window right there that you see right there. That's my window. This was his favorite. I could see him from the window, just like a bullet flying through here. And other side of the KRKA River, right on the other side of the KRKA River, that would be basically here. This, the ambulance workers, the NOVO MESTO hospital ambulance workers, they totally familiarized themselves, spoke with Borut Pahor about this stuff, with the politicians, talking to the police, the politicians. This is where the little girl was ran over in what used to be Yugoslavia because of the crazy traffic. This was a Serbian highway, basically. The highway of death. Race, race, race. Row, row, row. Row. Going insane about it. Going completely crazy about it. I tell you what, I'm going to put this as a thumbnail. Got to put this in a proper order as a thumbnail, or I'm going to put this text. Actually, you can see the text over there. You need to use this as a thumbnail. But psychiatrists from Ljubljana Polje, the garbage from Novo Mesto police station, they had ready, they had their logic ready to rationalize, they already saw themselves, they already saw themselves on interviews from the local reporters. The police already had the whole case prepared. They were already interviewing one another with the criminals from the local channels, from the media involved in this, already preparing themselves about this case, potential about this case, about complaining about these sirens and all this stuff. They complain to me, they also intimidate me with there is a crazy person that is complaining all the time, and so on and so on. This garbage here, this human dung, the trash that referred itself as a police. And you know, I worked toward law enforcement in the United States of America. I wanted to become a law enforcement officer, correctional officer, even border guard. I am not against police. It's exactly contrary. It's exactly contrary. This garbage, this Stefanic, the funny man, the funny boy, with his Miran Sodin from Ljubljana, the state prosecutors, they had a whole fucking scenario ready about how they're gonna ambulance worker and they prepare themselves. I watch this shit during MK Ultra when they talk to one another and so on, and with his local channel and so on, how they're gonna They were certain. They were certain. They were certain they're gonna make a show like they did with this guy here from Croatia. They're going to do it also in Slovenia. I'm talking about the Vladimir Putin. I'm talking about the trash that I found the other day in the shoulders of the Ursula von der Leyen. Ursula von der Leyen. I found this garbage I found here the other day next to Ursula von der Leyen. He makes himself visible and big and evident. He wanted to make impression on me. He wanted to make a strong impression on me. This clown here, his name is Maros Shefovich. This garbage here. This one right here, did you see this Maros Shefovich? This one met me inside of the Soviet Union. This one right here. With whom Ursula von der Leyen posed with. This boy was involved in Mount Everest of violence against me, beginning the 7th grade of the grammar school, 6th grade of the grammar school. This was a privileged, extremely trusted by the Russians, Slovak, partisan of Putin. You post with me, to me, with the stuff like this, really? And you think you're gonna get away with it? It was Ursula von der Leyen who claimed, "Oh, get the people like this guy, they're gonna witness for me." There's no one there to witness for me. None of you was out there to witness for me, because I don't need any kind of witnesses. My word is worded. That's a worthy word. That's a word of trust. That's a word of facts. I don't need any one of you. This guy spoke about Putin was the one who deputized him. Vladimir Putin was the one who okayed one to the Ursula von der Leyen, to the European autocrats. You're not going to be witnessing for me. None of you is going to be witnessing for me. None of you have nothing to witness for me. This is a job for the police. Now, the police can do the job or they don't have to do the job. I don't give a fuck what you do. What matters is, I did the job, I completed the job. I did the work you bragged about, you hallucinated about. The work you did not even believe a bit will be completed. The work which you wanted to distort, turn in your direction, for me to see myself in you, in your lies. Because that's what you are. You are a lie. Ursula von der Leyen was talking to me about this guy, and she was talking to me about the Edi Rama, who also traveled and see things. She found a bunch of people, but Edi Rama doesn't have nothing to do with this guy. These people are from the same period of time. They are. But these are completely different people with a completely different agenda. The main agenda was to exterminate me, not to help me out. For all the video recordings that you have done in front of me, talking to me lies, bullshit, would never come to see the light day of the light. Or I should say, would never see the daylight, because the problems that I had, foremost, are medical emergency problems. Let's not forget about the poisoning. Let's not forget about this individual here. I spoke to you about the Princess Anne a bit earlier. Well, you guys did not absolutely have no fucking idea. What you guys do is you pray every day so that you would not see me tomorrow, that today would be the last. My last. That's what this shit is all about. That's what this stuff is all about. You recording yourself, you presenting yourself, you presenting your view, your point of view, your reality. And yeah, maybe in the worst, if the worst will come to worse. And the worst that can come to the worst is when I start to see myself in your lies. That will be when the worst would come to the worst. If I would go through the worst to the worst, I don't even know what the fucking worst would be, because you worked to get me killed for 53 years. Even today you work hard to get me killed. So I don't even understand. I definitely cannot imagine seeing myself through your lies. Exactly what would be the worst of the worst. I don't know. I don't even catch up with you, scum. That's what this shit is. That's what this stuff is about. Vladimir Putin stated, I will never accomplish anything. I will die in the absence of the world. With the politicians like this scumbag right there flashing in front of me. Gesturing like a greater deal of corruption, etc., etc. There's no great corruption. The lady over there, her name is Ursula von der Leyen. And I explained to you everything about Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact in respect to my case. I explained everything about what went on since childhood. I pointed you out a little earlier. He's a very, very important guy. Very, very important guy, the German minister, economy minister. Very important guy. You need to understand what killed my father, what killed me, what destroyed the whole family. This was about creating reality out of total lies, out of genocide. Them, the scum that you see here portraying themselves as my victims. This is what this shit was about. This is what this was about. This is what this was about. That's exactly what this shit was about. That's what this was about. Them presenting themselves as my victims. It's easy. The swines dream better with a full ass. It's not difficult to eat healthy, to be smart, to behave smart in your situation, in your shoes, in your boots. It's not difficult. Murderous scum. Today is an anniversary of the slaughter, of the Romanov slaughter in Russia. And tomorrow, today and tomorrow is an anniversary of the slaughter of their relatives from Russia. That's what it is. For I will finish this video, this scum from London with a psychiatrist Peter Kapsch, with a Milan Kuchan, with Golub, with Vladimir Putin, very often harassed bullets, confronted me with, not only in respect to schizophrenia that can be seen through the images, through the imaging that it can be done, but they harass me, claiming me that depression is a degenerative disorder which your children will inherit, that it passes on through the DNA and to the progeny and to the children. Today and tomorrow is an anniversary of the onslaught, of the slaughter of the Romanov. It's not a 4th of July, but I believe it's a holiday for entire humanity that you should pay attention to. It was a day when forgive and forget did not come as a solution. It was a day when forgive and forget was done in such a way so that the vampires, they grow them since they are children into bullies. And that's it, they use the children like myself to demonstrate their children what can be done with the human beings, what they can do to the human. The day when forgive and forget was avenged or retaliated, led to the onslaught of their children, of the smallest one. These people are no fucking good. They are up to no fucking good already as a children, and they probably even genetically inherit this type of violence, this type of belief of being gods, as they also demanded from me to see them as gods. That much for this video. And I did also spoke to you about this roads here. This road no longer exists. It no longer exists. In terms of Yugoslavia, it no longer exists. I don't care what they're going to say to you, what they're going to talk about. They were doing this with a channel here from NOVO MESTO. The sun from Igor Kotar smashed here. There was a tree here. He came with such a velocity that he lost the control of the vehicle and smashed directly into the tree. There was a tree, supposedly, and that was it. So he said that he made a parking lot here instead, so that they took the tree down. There was a tree here somewhere. They delivered me during MK Ultra. They delivered me to this place, not on one occasion, but on many occasions. Igor Kotar was a drunk. This is a drunk. This is an alcoholic. They oftentimes would take his rage on his wife, Sonia Kotar, physically, beating her up. It was very physical. And he started to blame me, that it was my fault that his son killed himself with a car. This here is where I would sit on the boat and I would laugh my ass, listening how occasionally it would be a boom, bang, with the cars rolling over because of the speed, because of the unadjusted speed in Yugoslavia, and because people were fucking crazy. He would come here 150 kilometers an hour, I don't know, 100 kilometers an hour, and then the only thing that would be, you would hear dish. What the fuck you do with the scum like this when you worry about how you're gonna stay alive, how you go from one day to another, you don't know what is gonna be, and you know, people dumping money, just didn't know what the fuck to do The more I was abused, the more money people had. This MK Ultra, this is the stuff they tell you that you are so good, that it is because of you, and that you are so important, and so on. Pfft. This is a way into the grave. That's what this is. This is our house here, right here. This is right there on the other side of KRKA River, and the road that you see right there was replaced by this road. This is one road that was replaced. Is it? It should be a rondo. No, sorry, this is not it. This is just another. By this road here, that goes parallel. This is the road they created, so that people don't drive through there, not even fraction. This is a local traffic road, the road that you see over there, that I demonstrated you. That road is completely empty. There is no traffic over there. Barely any traffic. Especially not in the evening hours. It's an empty road, practically. This is the road we're talking about. And finally, this road that I demonstrated you, that road used to be known as, how the fuck can I explain to you? That is Serbian Autobahn, the road that I demonstrated you. That was a Yugo Autobahn. It's replaced by the road that runs parallel to it. It's called Autobahn. Now it's a real Autobahn. There is no reason for any of that kind of stuff. This is Autobahn here. Two roads replaced one. One road is this one here that I demonstrated you, and another one is a real Autobahn. That's what this is now. Before that used to be Autobahn. Sort of Autobahn used to be that. Today people don't have to drive on that local road over there across the KRKA River that I was talking to you about. Today there is no more need for that stuff. This here is being replaced. The road here that you see is improved. They traveled also from here. This used to be like a Autobahn before, and the Autobahn, the real Autobahn is right there. So the traffic that used to go through there, because people would stop, people would go here, and today, because it's this KRKA pharmaceutical, the people come to work from here, from this direction. So I don't know what they're gonna say to you. I don't know what they're gonna talk. Police insisted, maintained, they were certain that this case will never become public, that this will never go anywhere. I remember NOVO MESTO police investigators. They claimed that this is never gonna become public, and what they contemplated basically is by presenting genocide against me, like the case of this guy here that I demonstrated, the Croatian guy whom they have used for torture purposes. This guy was involved in Mount Everest of torture. They would deliver me to his house, to his area, and he wouldn't even get to travel with me to Serbia. So this stuff, this kind of stuff, this is just it's in English language. It's probably not accessible unless you translate this for the local Slovenian superstars. They have to translate this. This is a KRKA pharmaceutical here. Unless you translate this stuff to Slovenian language, it happened exactly the opposite. They were certain back in the day that this whole channel is going to be in Slovenian language. And they protested. They had a problem. Why do you do this in an English language? Nobody understands you. But you are fucking nobodies. You are fucking nobodies. You guys are fucking nobodies. You are what you are? You're fucking lunatics from Hollywood. wearing blue uniforms. I should say almost Steven Spielberg's, working inside in there, getting paid with the public money to fable your stories. You're a fable makers, a bullshitters. Miran Sudin stated to me, just go home and keep writing. Yes, because you think your reality you portray, this will never become known. Nobody will ever see this, and it will be, the only thing that will be left is your lies that you type on the paper. This is the way you did during my psychiatric hospitalization in Ljubljana Polje. Keep fucking dreaming, losers. Keep dreaming about it, losers. Very important, and that's why also this portion, I'm going to name this just part number 2. I was going to add this together to the original video, but I think that I'm just going to separately upload this video. Very important, this stuff here. This adds to other stuff that I stated about the ambulance vehicles. There is your Lunacy channel right here. You can go and you can... Yeah, I understand. Everybody understands. It's an intersection. Yes, an intersection. You have to do ambulance stuff and so on. All through, I don't see a single fucking car anywhere. I don't see a single fucking car anywhere. I'm sure that you have excuse for everything, for your line of work, whatever the fuck you do. Well, what you really do is what I really describe inside of this video. That's what you really do. And you're not good at. You suck. You stink. I got a better solution for you. Way better solution. I provided you with a solution for you. How the people are going to see you. How the people are going to remember you. This is a solution for you. I did this. If you are Slovenian and you are in doubts with me, and it doesn't matter how the war in Ukraine is going to end, it doesn't fucking matter. What does the fuck does it matter? There is such a thing like a separate wars launch at the same time. And the war that you launch against me is a matter for itself. It doesn't matter who the fuck you support, or you're gonna claim we had to do it like this and so on. Who give a fuck about what you get to say? I'm not alive because of you, scum. If you're in doubt as a Slovenian, watch this video. And you always will know, you scum, who is standing in front of you. You will always know.
Можно мне вас поцеловать, товарищ Сталин? За все! За все, что вы сделали для нашего народа! Для нас!
Мира и счастья всем вам, друзья.
Just remember these words here. Just remember. He also says, my friends. Yeah, but really, it's not about my friends. It's about peace and happiness to all. That's what this is about. It's not my friend. My friends is separately stuff. He says, peace and happiness to all. So you know what that means, peace and happiness to all. If you're in doubt, you go right back and you read the article This is in fact discussed. I discussed this issue in a previous video. If you in doubts, that's all you need to do. This paragraph I already discussed. You see me as a Slovenian. Remember the video that I demonstrated you. That's all you need to know about me.